change is something that is constant, and that is something that is also now facing with the foundry industry. The business model of waiting for automotive to send you the parts is broken. You cannot survive on that. So you either go down with that business model or you change it. And that is something that is now coming to the podcast, that change. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Goldcasting Podcast. And today we have something to tell you. And I think we should get right into that because it will trigger a lot of things.
Probably. Yeah, in short, this pod will continue, slightly different format, and I will not participate because I got some new horizons that I need to explore, basically. So this is what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. So, getting into it.
Yeah, that will be a massive shift, especially after now 3 years working on this podcast together. This will be episode 76. So we were really active in producing episodes, talking to interesting people.
76 episodes, and yet many to come in the future from Goldcasting via the Casting Campus and Fabian Niklas. But look at the statistics, 215,000 views on only YouTube.
Exactly. When we factor in also the audio version, we have 8,350 downloads of the full episodes on all the streaming platforms there are. We've gained more than 1,000 followers on our LinkedIn channel, about 1,500 people on our email list. So we built something real.
Yeah, and it's working. There is a clear evidence there's a need of a good podcast. This is why it's continuing with Fabian. And, you know, guys, again, first, thank you for being the ones who have been clicking and listening and all that. For me, the pod has been a lot of fun, pretty challenging in a good way. One has to come up with great ideas, but again, we had a lot of ideas from people listening. So it's been a great thing. And comments, handshakes, highly appreciated, because sometimes, you know, when you're trying to do an episode and wrap your head around some ideas and then you get a comment from someone or some insights. So, But let's talk a little bit about time, though. What has happened during these 3 years of podding?
Oh, it has happened quite a lot. So when we started, there wasn't anything like the podcast. They were the same conference. Everything was there. And we've seen the first tendencies that automotive is slowing down, that it got that crash that it has now. We haven't even anticipated that. But we've seen, and I think that it might get even worse for the foundries. That doesn't mean that the foundry industry is a bad place to be, because there are so many projects coming up that require the highest skilled people to really work and put all the effort in that. So that is something that will be fascinating. We're seeing now that more and more applications are developed for casting. And that is something that will also bring casting in many other industries that haven't used casting before. And that on a very short timeline.
Yeah, they need help. That's what you're saying.
Exactly. It's not that here you have a 3D shape of aluminium, pay me the material price plus 50% for making that. No, it's about, we need a solution. Can you help us get there? So it's switching from we are just a provider of capacity to we are the service partner. And for the foundries who understood that, they have a great future.
I think it comes down to design support. That is a term I like. I can understand that. Design support. What are the draft angles I can use? How thick, how thin, what kind of alloys, all these things. How do I make this producible so I can scale up my business doing whatever it is?
I would go even one step earlier, because oftentimes you need to create the market first, because the ones you want to help creating the perfect casting for the application, they don't even think about casting. So you have to first educate them about casting and then support them in their journey to get to the casting and solve the issues they have in their current production line.
What are you saying? You need to drive them into your workshop and show them a die casting machine spitting out 60 parts an hour?
Not really, because that doesn't really happen. You need to educate them why casting it's a great place. So again, for me, everything starts with content marketing. And I think that's something which is then also helps the industry, because as we had in the last podcast, it's all about, in these market creation topics, generate talking points with other people. And from these talking points, you get into new business. And that's basically what we're also trying to do.
And here we start to derail from our script directly, because you speak about these things now, Fabian. And let me give a little bit a view, because I think three things are happening on the market. One, it's very good for people who knows about die casting, because there will be a bunch of job opportunities. We'll come back on that one. Next thing is that you see the rise of new marketplaces. And who are they? Well, it is actually the merger between AI, self-driving cars, ADAS systems, and all these things. And you see telecom 5G, you see energy storage solutions, you see how to charge your car and all these things. So in a way, we blame the car industry for having a bad time in the die casting, but the surrounding systems are exploding right now. Also with the humanoids, of course. And all these mixed together with 5G, AI, and all that. So what's happening then? Well, you have a bunch of companies in every continent, with a lack of skills to develop and design die castings. They need your help. But the same thing, you should know one thing. These people are a little bit younger than you're normally used to. Very sharp engineers. They find everything on the net. So here comes the link Fabian is looking for. If you want to get this market, you probably need to be in the same arenas they are playing, meaning the digital age and digital marketing and more marketing, basically. Because how can you know anything about anything if you cannot see it?
Yeah. How should anyone buy something they don't know anything about? And that's the key thing. If you're looking at the automotive industry helped the foundry industry get to that level of professionalism they are today. But with the lack in volumes, and it's so comfortable to get things from automotive because everything is on portals, just need to refresh and the things come in your way. You just need to be waiting.
Exactly.
But now for the others market, that script is flipped. So you need to be the ones pursuing these opportunities. They don't come automatically. There is no non-automotive portal that you can just log on, and no, that's something you have to generate yourself. And market generation is a new discipline, is a new skill. And that's something you need to develop.
Yeah. So to summarize this segment, the energy storage systems, the humanoids, the telecom guys, all mixing together, the server hall cooling, these are massive markets in making. They're not automotive, so it will not be a 3-year PPAP. New solutions are actually thrown in constantly in this stream of new products and capacity needs. So, stay tuned, listen to Fabian, follow his recommendation. Leading me over to the next segment. Okay, car industry is going down, especially in Europe, but what's actually happening here? They are starting their Gigacasting projects one by one. We have all heard about it, and we heard it from Luca Greco and other people visiting us. And what does this mean? Well, it might be bad for a foundry. Maybe you're working on a foundry, but it's good for you as a person, because imagine how many very good and skilled talents that are needed when you start to run 4 or 5 factories with a Gigacasting production as a backbone for car making. Would you like to guess 200, 2,000?
You need countless people, because it's the first time there's so much money on the line if something goes wrong.
Yes.
So hiring skilled people, paying them well, is the lower risk, the better way to go. And that's what we also seen is that, yes, the teams aren't as big when you had to manage 70 different suppliers, but you have a very dedicated, highly focused team working on that. And when you have a whole car factory behind waiting for that casting or getting that casting, that makes it very different range, and nobody cares about the hourly rate of a Gigacasting machine when the car factory is stopped.
I wonder what the cost per 1 hour in a car production factory is.
That must be massive when you think about that you have at least 500,000 people just standing around.
Yeah, so if you miss one casting 1 minute and you have one production slot empty, that's a big cost.
Yeah, then it depends if the production line can work with one empty slot or everything has to stop. So this is something where it's really key to get good castings out in reasonable times, and you have also the money to invest, to do things, to do all these things that everybody else doesn't want to do, because now it makes sense.
Yeah. But I think for a talented foundry guy, you don't need to care about it. You just make the conclusion. This is very, very important. And for you as an individual, there's a nice career waiting. But I would like to add something to this. I think with those investments and with the very small process windows and the high values involved, we will see increased activity around support, like new softwares and stuff. So even if you don't work in the car manufacturing with the Gigacasting directly, I think there will be more and more opportunities around simulation, software support programs, more advanced tooling designs, etc., etc. I think the knowledge base has to be lifted, and I love the term merger of discipline, but I think it's becoming true now, because these Gigacastings, even if you invest in a big machine now, it will be a constant development for what, 15, 20 years?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the future is yours as an individual. As a small foundry, well, maybe.
As a small foundry, it will be challenging. You either go into a niche that you have to develop yourself, or you're really facing bankruptcy, or you have to come together with competitors to really fill. Maybe from 4 foundries that coming together, you may be able to fill 2.
Yep.
But then you're still surviving.
But you need to be brave.
Yeah, you need to be brave, and 25% of something is way better of 100% of zero.
Yeah.
So that's why I think the podcast has to continue, as there are so many things happening, new disciplines moving together and have to be done by the same people, bridging all these different departments to get one output. And that's what I want to continue with the podcast.
Yeah, someone has to talk about all new opportunities.
Exactly. And also talk to the people that did that transition, that can show something, how the foundry industry 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 will look like. Because it's always hard to imagine what it will look like until someone tells you. We had to do this. We thought it's going that way, but on the other side, hey, we learned we have to focus more on that. And these are the stories that needs to be covered.
Yeah, because going into a little bit of reflection from my side of the 3 years and 76 episodes, my takeaway on the episodes, 2 of them. One, Gigacasting is a naked lady. If you want clicks, make a title around Gigacastings. People are fascinated, and it is fascinating. I agree. So again, Gigacasting is what it is. But my second takeaway is, and now I will sound like a politician, losing an election and shouting at the voters that didn't understand, but we didn't come out with our message and blah, blah, blah. But I still think that one of the best episodes were, I think it's number 34 or something. Do you have 13. The best captains? 13. Do you have the best captains? The right captains? Because going forward, this is what it is about. Are you listening? Are you exploring new markets? Do you have the right CEO? Do you have the right marketing guy? I mean, should you really hire one from your competition doing exactly the same that he or she has been doing for 12 years? Or should you actually put in someone who understands digital marketing, listening to Fabian and explore the new areas? I mean, the choice starts with the people.
Yeah.
But
and also,
I'm wrong here. I lost the election.
No, definitely not. You didn't lose the election. But change is something that is constant, and that is something that is also now facing with the foundry industry. The business model of waiting for automotive to send you the parts is broken. You cannot survive on that. So you either go down with that business model or you change it. And that is something that is now coming to the podcast, that change. And let me give you a bit of an idea what I want to do going forward. So first of all, the frequency is something, as we can split the workload, as we were 2 people doing this podcast. So the first big change that you will see, that you will feel, is that I have to go to a monthly plan in uploading the podcast. Because the biggest challenge, what you probably don't see, is the scheduling, that you have all the people at the right time in line to interview that. Because Staffan and I, when we were together, it's easy to record a podcast together. But I don't want to be the one that just does a podcast by himself. That is basically like a presentation. I don't know if that's the right format, but anyway, I will play around with different formats to see what works best for me, what has the best retraction from the audience. So you will see different things coming along, and I would really appreciate if you can give me some feedback, what you like to hear about, what are the things that you're interested in, what you like to see, to hear. So we now have a play area to explore. What can we do? So it's not clear which direction it will go, but it's very clear that we will see different things.
But with so much going on, there will
Absolutely.
be many interesting subjects. I think the audience can help out to prioritize also what actually to talk about. I mean, my heart is pumping for humanoids. Maybe that's just stupid. Maybe people need to think about more like smart grid or whatever they are meeting in their day-to-day job. So give a call, make a comment.
Absolutely. Or say, hey, I have an interesting story.
Share it.
Let me know about, and then we can figure it out how we can turn that story into a podcast episode. So if you want a great Foundry podcast, you have now the chance to also impact that outcome. And I think that is something which gives a unique opportunity. It won't be perfect from day one, as we now had 3 years to develop that system that works for us both, that we can both bring in our strengths. But now it has to be me, so it also has to change in the format. That's very clear.
Yeah, but I can also give a hint from the coach. If you want to join Fabian's podcast, don't be afraid. There are a couple of things. Number one, it's not that difficult. You don't need to, do a new haircut or something. You make a simple script. Second thing is that Fabian is doing this perfect production, So you will see, you will get this professional level of things. And number three, I have never had a negative comment from anybody. Everybody's like, oh, I saw the podcast, great work, blah, blah, blah. And you start conversations. And this is exactly maybe what you need to do. Maybe you need to brand yourself, your company, something new that you have. Use this opportunity. And don't be afraid, because you were speaking about a couple of hours and you're speaking about 20,000 clicks.
Yeah, it's a very easy way to go. And I was really amazed at the last year ago. So I had people coming by to take a selfie with me. And I felt really like an actual influencer, but
you're
just
an
still
influencer.
die casting.
I know.
So that's really something.
That's great.
I was never expecting. And especially now I'm taking back 3 years when we started that thing. Slightly hungover in the car to the airport.
Slightly? Who are you talking about?
Let's not comment on this further.
No.
We were bored out of our minds from these presentations and thought, there must be a better way. And one thing that we said, hey, podcast, that's the way to go. And imagine we get 100 people listening.
Yeah.
Not per episode, in general.
Yeah.
And we're now at 215,000 views. It is amazing what came out of that.
But it's been a development, right?
Absolutely, especially when you go back to our first episodes. We didn't even have video. That all came, and what we haven't told you is that we recorded 4, 5, 6 episodes that we all deleted because they were so terrible to listen to.
Yeah.
So we needed some times to practice, and for the first one is still terrible. However, the content, that's still valid. That's still good.
Oh, yeah.
So you can go back 3 years, listen to the episodes, and still take knowledge from that.
No, you should think like this. If we dare to do it in that way and with that quality, you dare to join. Now.
Absolutely. And also with that, now switch to a monthly schedule. Your episode will be the latest one for way longer. I do have more time to write articles to highlight the key things, that it will also be more picked up by AI search to really get into the eyes of the people you want to reach. So for me, it's the advantage that I have a manageable workload. For you, it's the advantage you get way more than before when joining the podcast.
dear listener, if you join the podcast, you're not jumping on the bus, you're jumping into a nice, cozy limousine with a sparkling Moët Chandon, on the way to that cool flight to I don't know where. It will take you somewhere. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, not to be too emotional, I'm a Swedish guy. We don't have any emotions, at least not in any video. But there's a lot of thank yous to be said. I would like to thank the people in the audience that has been interviewed. Great, big thank you. Because time, effort, but maybe most important, sharing a lot of valuable insights. And for you who hasn't been interviewed and listening to the pod, check those episodes out, because these are experts in their fields and they're sharing very, very much about their subjects, basically. So again, thank you for participating. Then we had a few sponsors over the years, and again, thank you very much, guys. It helped us, investing in cameras and stuff and equipment, and they smoothed things out a little bit in our day-to-day life. Sometimes we drink coffee also, and that might cost you €1 or €2. So thank you very much for this. Then, of course, our audience. All you guys that's been, shaking hands and saying hey and taking your selfie with Fabian and all these things. Comments, ideas, and just, being clicking. That has been great. I don't feel like an influencer. I don't know if you do, Fabian, but it is so nice having this to talk about with people at the Eurogas and other trade fairs where you meet people. So all of you external, thank you very much. But my deepest thank you to Fabian, that is, guys, there's a special thing here with two guys, one being German and very, very ordering, and then the Swedish guy from in the middle of the woods. And this production has never been made without Fabian Niklas, ladies and gentlemen, because the level of professionalism and so forth. We will probably have like 50 clicks per view, and we will be sitting in our wrinkled shirts from our cabin or something. You have done a great job. And I learned so much from you, Fabian. So my biggest thank you to you, actually. The others, second place.
Oh, thank you, Staffan, as well. So you couldn't describe it better how thankful we are for everyone coming on, for everyone listening, spending their time with us, listening to what we have to say, what we want to teach you. And especially thank you, Staffan, for letting me push you a bit around from time to time, that we can keep our schedule, that we had so much fun creating these episodes and going through all these years and having a great friendship out of that, having wonderful episodes to look back on and more to come. And just thank you for all that time, for all that fun that we had together.
Yeah, when we're 85 in a retirement home, we can at least say we had a podcast.
And then our grandkids will ask us, what is a podcast?
Yeah. Probably something.
I thought you do Riocasting.
Yeah, that might be it. So, wrapping this up, there's a lot of thank yous. Thank you for the time. Thank you, Fabian. Thank you, listeners. Good luck in the future. Me and Fabian are still in communication on daily business due to other businesses. So I will follow this closely. So from me, hej då, sayonara, goodbye, auf Wiedersehen.
Yeah, thank you, Staffan, from now the transition being the host to being the VIP fan number 1 of the podcast. And again, thank you for listening in to the end. Please let me know what you would like to hear about, what you'd like me to show you, what the podcast can do, what the foundry industry can do to get into better waters. And therefore, I just can say, don't forget to subscribe, and we see us in the next episode. Goodbye.
Goodbye.